Casino for another episode of Get Sharp. Monday Night Football in the house. Joe Fortenbaugh and our good friend Todd Fuhrman.
Good to be back, Joe.
It's always a pleasure to have you. You did such an excellent job on Thursday night. We figured we'd bring you back for the Monday night preview as the 2-6 Minnesota Vikings head to Green Bay to face the 8-0 Packers. Now we're going to take a look at this game. It's a Monday nighter with a big spread. This used to be a great rivalry, but Minnesota has clearly blown the doors off this one. 13.5-point favorite heading into Monday night. Although the last time these two got together, close game. It was the only game in the last 6 Green Bay hasn't covered. Christian Ponder's in the house. Your thoughts tonight in terms of what he can do to keep this game close?
Minnesota's been a great story since installing Christian Ponder. Don McNabb clearly wasn't getting the job done from what we'd seen. They know the future is invested in Ponder. He used a high first-round pick to take the kid out of Florida State. Adrian Peterson is still the most dynamic player on either side of these games if I eliminate Aaron Rodgers from the equation. Minnesota's defense gives them a chance game in, game out. When you talk about NFL rivalries of this magnitude, 13.5 to 14 points, that's an awfully big number to try and navigate.
Primetime game as well, which is always something that, in my personal opinion, teams tend to get up a little bit more for that. Let's talk about the Packers for a second. Has it gotten to a point where you can't set a number high enough? They score so many points. We saw San Diego keep it close, but at the same time, this team's been a 10-point or greater favorite in 4 of 8 games this year.
Last week was a prime example. We thought we had a live underdog going for the house with the Chargers, catching 5.5 to 6, depending on where the number closed. But when you spot them 14 points on 2 pick sixes, it's awfully tough to try and overcome that. However, San Diego did put 38 points on the board, and this Packers defense hasn't exactly been the great lockdown unit that people expected coming into the season. If Minnesota could put points on the board early and keep this game close, it's awfully tough for Green Bay to go out there and expect them to put their foot on the gas and win this game going away by 2+ scores.
Run the football. Run the football, establish the running game against this team. Will the public continue to come in on Green Bay?
The public will continue to come in on Green Bay until they have reason not to. I mean, this team has covered numbers, whether they're 5-point favorites, 10-point favorites. They continue to do so. We alluded to the fact last time they played the Vikings earlier this year, they didn't cover the number. They got it bet up as high as 10. And now you look at, they go back home, and they're only laying 13.5. I think that speaks volumes to what people have seen out of Minnesota. The team found a way to go to win out against Carolina, and they're on the uptick, while the Packers, I think, are focused on a much bigger prize, not covering double digits.
Let's talk about the total for a second here. Teams coming off the bye this year, we've seen a lot more unders occurring in those games. Green Bay, though, a very high-scoring team. Public loves overs. Do you see them jumping on this game as well and moving it up a little bit?
When you talk about Green Bay and you talk about Monday Night Football, the public will be on the over. We've seen it come in early in the week. We've seen it continue through the weekend. Nobody wants to sit and watch Aaron Rodgers hoping he throws incomplete passes. They saw game 1 of this series go well over the total. They're betting it the exact same way this week. And I really think we have a great shot to get this game under the total. Minnesota's going to need to establish Adrian Peterson if they're going to stay competitive. If this turns into a firefight, it's not going to go the Vikings' way.
Does Green Bay go 16-0 this year?
Green Bay does not go 16-0. I think they lose the Thursday of Thanksgiving when they go to Detroit. I have them about a 4.5-point favorite in that game. I think the Lions are a live home dog in that spot.
If they would get to a point later in the season where we're looking them at 13-0, 14-0, somehow they get through the game you're already picking them against. If we get into December, does this team rest their starters, or do you keep going? Because we saw the Colts do that a few years ago, blew up in their face.
It's awfully tough when you look at the way the Packers' schedule shapes up. They have a late-season game against division rival Chicago. If we learned one thing last year when the Bears decided that it wasn't important to keep Green Bay out, Green Bay may want to keep a Bears team who looks to be a 5 or 6 seed contender out of the playoffs. I think you want to stay as sharp as possible. Maybe you play them for a half and rest guys in the 4th quarter. 16-0 is an awfully tall accomplishment, and I think they're going to play their players to win every single game this year.
Senior race and sports analyst from Caesars Entertainment, Mr. Todd Fuhrman. Thank you very much for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Glad you made it back safely from San Diego.
I did what I could. I'm wearing the same shirt, too, if you remember from Thursday.
That's what I was going to say. You know what? Weekends in Southern California can be tough, so I'm glad you made it back in one piece.
Well, that's all from us here at the Rio All-Suite Hotel and Casino. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Enjoy the Monday night game tonight. We'll get Mr. Fuhrman back sometime again in the near future as his schedule permits. Very busy man, but we do appreciate the time.
We do what we can. Things are busy around these parts.
Enjoy the games, everybody.